Be honest. Oh my god, wait. Okay, edit that out.
WAC.
WAC.
Warwick ASEAN conference.
Let's get into it.
I initially found out about WAC through my Thai seniors who were part of last year's WAC committee members, and on top of that I also found Facebook posts regarding the WAC recruitment process on the Warwick Freshers Facebook page.
I found out about WAC through a couple friends of mine who were working with the committee in their first year. So during our conversations, they would always bring up the things they were doing with WAC, the speakers they're inviting, the themes that they're touching upon in the conference, and I thought it was really interesting.
I knew of WAC through the pre-departure briefing held back in Singapore before I flew over to the UK. I remember WAC was mentioned right at the very end, and because by then I had an interest in regional affairs of Southeast Asia, I was naturally attracted to the idea of being a part of WAC.
Well, WAC, the way I saw it, comprised of a myriad of diverse cultures and heritage, all of which connected me to where I came from and my roots, which is Vietnam. It was an opportunity for me to connect with the cultures of my neighboring countries, find out their heritage, find out their traditions, their backgrounds. It basically made me feel extremely at home despite being so far away from everybody I loved.
Logistics has been something that I've always been more involved in all the previous events or kind of activities that I've been involved in, and it's something that I know I was very comfortable doing. I personally like getting my hands on, like having hands-on work and being really involved in the planning. So for me, it just seems this was the logical choice.
I wanted to develop better connections with experts or scholars who are knowledgeable in the ASEAN-related areas in the UK. So during my experience within the speaker team, I was able to interact with many scholars or experts who are specialized in ASEAN, based in the United Kingdom.
To be in charge of one particular sponsor, in my case it was Royal Brunei Airlines. I was responsible for coming up with material for events that we organized for Royal Brunei Airlines along with my team head, and assisting the other associates if necessary. And on the conference day itself, I was responsible for the representative from Royal Brunei Airlines who had come to attend the conference and promote his airline.
I was just learning about content strategy, branding, social media marketing especially, and I found out that it was something I really enjoyed. It was, having that kind of creative control over a project, over a year, being able to set the tone of the conference. That was something that was really fulfilling for me.
Since WAC is the first ever student-led ASEAN conference in the UK, we have established good relationships with the embassies for more than 5 years now. And that is our main job, to maintain those relationships and ensure that ASEAN students at Warwick can get any form of support from the embassies. Alongside, the embassies can connect with their home students more easily.
The commitment overall, honestly, I did not feel was very heavy. I was mostly only busy on the days that we had events, and of course in a couple weeks leading up to the conference we were busier because we had to arrange and organize and have dry runs. But other than that, like, the commitment really wasn't that heavy. And personally, I feel like if you want to join WAC and you're scared of the commitment, you should just do it, because the commitment is super manageable and you can still be involved in a ton of other societies on a regular.
Probably when I emceed for last year's conference, I thought it would be fine at first, but when I was actually put in the position, it was really nerve-wracking. But I don't regret doing that at all.
Honestly confess that there were many highlights during my WAC journey, but if I were to pick one, I would have to say being given the chance to interact with a speaker whose name is Bill Hayton, and he is one of the most prominent authors on international relations in Southeast Asia.
I've gained a lot of confidence when interacting with others because as a science student, most of my times maybe spent in the laboratory and focusing on very tiny stuff. But working with WAC is like having a break from that tension and absorbing other perspectives rather than listening to myself all day.
Moderating a panel of speakers that included some of the brightest thinkers on ASEAN and the region was quite the experience as well, especially when one of the panelists was the author of a book that inspired me to embark on my master's.
The cultural exchange as well, we can't forget about that. The opportunities that I got to meet the embassies, the delegates from different countries, delegates all around the UK, whom are ASEAN, they're really one of a kind. And I think joining WAC gives that unique experience, unlike any other society or any other conference as well, is that you get a chance to meet these people and understand their outlooks on certain things, the way they will approach certain problems, and their opinions on current affairs as well.
It is the community. I met some of my best friends through WAC. Personally, I am super introverted, and for me, it took me a very long time to settle into the UK and meet people because I just am not very good at social situations. And WAC allowed me to bond and meet with the people from all over ASEAN that I genuinely would never have even talked to if not for WAC.
Know your why, know your reason for applying. It can be anything from wanting to organize a conference to wanting to get WAC on your CV for spring weeks or whatever else you may want to apply for. But have a really solid reason in your mind so that you don't burn out and you don't sort of lose motivation in the middle of your application process or after joining.
Be proactive, continue asking questions, and make sure you're aware of what's happening within the whole committee. I think as time goes on, you'll discover that being a team member is a really good situation, a really good position to be in, because you have a lot of freedom to choose what you want to make out of your role. And I think a lot of team heads and coordinators are very open to making the role fit with your skills and experiences.
You never really know who you're gonna meet, so I suggest and I advise you to take every moment and every interaction not for granted and enjoy it and really take in the experiences and what you're gonna learn from it as well. You really do make long-lasting relationships with WAC, and everyone you talk to has an opinion, is either an expert in their field, or always has something to share from that diverse heritage and background as well. And every time you learn something new, this is what's truly going to cement you through your way in life.
I do not regret joining WAC.
No regrets at all.
I do not regret joining WAC.
Absolutely not. It was a fantastic experience.
If you love eating, you can enjoy assorted food on different occasions with WAC. I bet there'll be a lot of eating events throughout the year, so please come and join us.